Well, this is November, and I want to raise the awareness of mental health in all men, but also particularly doctors, because actually we're our own worst enemy. We try so hard to work very hard for our patients. But a few years ago, I had a time where I was not working very well. I was getting very, very stressed, very, very depressed, and I got to the point where it was 2 years ago, I had a time where I wasn't being a good father, a good husband, or a good person to be with, and I got to the point where I was chopping logs, and as I was putting the chainsaw down, I was thinking it'd be easier for me to just end it here.
That's bad.
But I got to the point. But the thing about it was, the reason I didn't do it is I had my mobile phone in my pocket, because I thought people then think I didn't try to call for help.
Right.
And that's the thing for me, is the reason I'm saying this now is because people don't look for help.
You poor chap, what a horrible experience to go through. And you turned to substances, did you?
I was drinking too much. I was drinking every night just to relieve the stress. I was just feeling overwhelmed. I was working 14, 15-hour days and not doing my job properly.
You were going to actually resign live on air this morning to make the, not as a gimmick, but to make the point. You couldn't wait. You actually resigned yesterday, didn't you?
Well, no,
you just couldn't stand it anymore.
what I'm doing is I'm moving into another job.
Yes.
I can't continue doing the job I'm doing because of the burnout.
And so you've stopped being a GP?
I'm stopping being a GP.
I must tell you, if you don't mind me saying, that you look pretty burned out, actually. You look like a man under stress. You really do. It's coming off you in waves.
Yeah. The thing about it is that there's no off switch, there's no safety valve, for me as a doctor.
Did your patients notice anything? I mean, were any of your patients saying, actually, doctor, heal thyself, you don't look right?
Some patients do, they all come and say, they pick up and say, are you okay? Are you, but most people actually come in with their own agendas, sadly, and that's right thing.
Sadly, that's what they've got issues. That's why they're going to the doctor.
Exactly.
Dr. Claire Gerard, the point is, where do the doctors go? And that's why you've set up a clinic for the GPs.
And your point is absolutely right. I don't think it is for patients to come in and ask how we are. But many of my profession are struggling, and I run a service for sick doctors, the General Practitioner Health Service, funded by NHS England, and we only started in January, and we've now seen nearly 900 GPs, some suffering from depression, burnout, trying to keep their practice afloat, but we're all human. Others really just the straw that breaks the camel's back, an extra home visit just makes them crack under that pressure. And it is important because GPs are essentially the front door of the NHS. If we give, then I'm afraid the NHS can't cope with the workload.
Is there any way of knowing if it's worse now than it was, say, 15, 20 years ago?
Well, that's a very, very good question. And it's difficult to say exactly because I think we always look back and think it was much, much better. Certainly there was mental illness 15, 20 years ago, but I think what's apparent now, and I've been a GP for 25 years, I cannot do a full day's work without feeling exhausted at the end of it. 25 years ago, I used to finish my morning surgery at 11. I used to do a home visit. I used to pick the children up from nursery school, give them some...
You had an integrated life?
I had and then I used to go and do evening surgery at 4 o'clock and finish at 6:30 and be on call 1 in 5.
So put your finger on it then. What's changed?
It's the complexity of what we have to do. It's the work shifting from hospitals into general practice. There is this famous phrase, the GP is best placed to do everything. I mean, we do everything now other than open heart surgery in our practice.
I mean, you're saying you were working 15, 16 hours a day.
Well,
it's intolerable.
I'm still doing that.
That is, and what, you're not seeing patients for that long. So what is going on that's putting you under so much cracking stress?
The issue is the prescriptions, the paperwork, the correspondence and things. The thing about it is if you miss something, then patients might get harmed. So if you miss a note in a letter saying, please refer this patient, or if you miss please change this medication, if you miss that by, because you've got 50 or 60 letters to read.
Well, we heard that GP in the video there saying that she was actually skipping her background checks on prescriptions before making them because she just didn't have the time. Straight question, have you made mistakes because of the stress you've been under?
Absolutely, I'm almost certain I have. Really? Almost certainly. But the thing is, the issue is, I don't go to work to make mistakes. But I pay £10,000 a year for a lawyer to actually to defend me. But the issue for me is, you know, the patients will be harmed. If
And
I
I
make
think
a mistake, a patient will be harmed.
It's a bit like your airline pilot. A tired airline pilot will as much more at risk of making an error. We mustn't have tired GPs because we make errors, and that is a patient safety issue.
I know you resigned yesterday. Do you feel a huge weight is off your shoulders? And as you say, you feel better?
I feel that what's happened is that I'm able to continue being the person I wanted to be.
That's an
you
interesting
know, and that's the thing. I never want to go back to being where I was.
No, but what a tragedy that a job that you once loved, you went into.
I still love the job,
right?
But the trouble is, it is unsustainable at the moment, and I don't want to go back to being to that level of stress.
And the trouble, as we've discovered, is too many GPs are feeling like that. They're at breaking point. I mean, we spoke to Dr. Claire Gerarda a little earlier, who set up a GP's practice for GPs to go to. You didn't even know about that, did you?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of GPs know about it.
No.
You know, and this is the issue, is that we sit in and we're meant to be self-reliant, we're meant to be resilient, we're meant to be, but unfortunately we're still humans.
Well, it's really good of you to come back, because as we said, we were very struck by your story.
Yeah.
Thank you, and good luck in your new job and your new career.
Much. Thank you.
Well, a spokesperson for the Department of Health said, because it always comes down to money, doesn't it? They said that they're investing an extra $2.4 billion by 2020 in GP surgeries, and they will continue, they say, to explore options with GPs to overcome the kind of challenges that we're talking about here, and to give NHS patients the high-quality care that they say they deserve.